Weird News Weekly with Ben and Reid.
It is that time once again, time for another episode of Weird News Weekly. My name is Ben Rogers and this guy's name is Reid Marnie. How's it going, Reid?
And I don't know what the meaning of the word win means anymore. I've given up on all hope of the word win and success and all those sort of words.
Why?
Well, you should know damn well why.
Yeah.
What's going on with our basketball team? It's an absolute schmozzle. I know our favourite player isn't playing at the moment, but It's not just one guy playing, it's a team. Mm-hmm. What's going on? Why aren't they winning?
It was one of those things where everyone was kind of shocked that Cedric Jackson was sacked from the team basically throughout the week, and they've all of a sudden got this new import who's arrived in the country this week, Casper Ware. And he previously played for the Philadelphia 76ers, and in the Summer League, he was playing for the Washington Wizards. So he's a very experienced guy who's got NBA experience. So now he's actually coming and playing in our team starting this Friday. It's Thursday when we're recording this. So we're playing tomorrow night, and he has his debut with the team tomorrow. And apparently things are looking pretty good at the moment as far as how he gels with the rest of the team. So it could be the thing that we needed.
Fingers crossed. We need some NBA experience in an NBL club.
Well, we've got David Anderson there, who does have some NBA experience. He previously played for Houston Rockets, and he's had some short stays at other clubs as well. But dual NBA experience in the team now, which is going to be good, I think.
Fingers crossed and toes and everything that you can cross is going to be crossed.
Now, Reid, I guess another one of the reasons why you didn't have all that much of a win throughout the week was because you tried countless times to try and secure yourself a mini Nintendo Entertainment System, and you failed miserably because these things are ridiculously popular.
I know, what is going on? EB Games, you have a lot to answer for. They released a statement because it was so, ridiculously popular. They said on an average day, they get 500,000 page views on Tuesday, and on Monday and Tuesday, they got 7.5 million each every day. So clearly there's a lot of interest in a $99 product.
Just before we go any further as well, it is very warm here at the moment today. So for those of you who are watching the video stream, yes, I'm wearing a singlet. I'm sorry if my pasty white Victorian skin offends anybody, but that's just the way it is because I'm a pasty white Victorian. So you're just going to have to deal with it. If you can't deal with it in the video stream, just go and listen to the podcast version like everyone else is, because we're getting plenty of listens as far as the actual audio podcast is concerned at the moment. Not too many people watching the video stream on YouTube, which is not something that we care about all that much. It's more about the audio podcast. So round of applause to all those people who have been tuning into the podcast throughout the week, Reid.
Yeah, Ben puts in a lot of effort for both the YouTube and the audio version, so one of two isn't too bad to have success on one platform, so yay us.
But as far as the weird news is concerned for the show this week, I do have two Macca's stories that kind of tie into one. For anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about saying Macca's, that is our slang for McDonald's here in Australia, the McDonald's restaurant. They are experimenting at the moment. It must be experimental season as far as McDonald's is concerned. Two different products that have gone viral throughout the week. One for good reasons, one for very bad reasons. Not a lot of people happy about this particular one all over Twitter and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. A lot of very bad comments. I also have another Apple story this week about Apple trying their hand at a new product that others have tried before and failed at. So maybe Apple is trying to do the right thing as far as this product is concerned and make it better than everyone else has done previously. How about yourself, Reid?
Well, I've got some interesting stories. We have, in our lives, been bored of our lives at some point or another, but we've done things about it to get rid of the boredom. Well, a kid over in the UK had enough of his life and just sent his parents a letter and said, "Mum and Dad, I'm bored of my life. I'll see you in a year." So apparently in that year he was going to travel, but he didn't get farther than 2.5 months of travel and getting away from his bored life. So we'll find out why. And also, you just mentioned Apple. Well, I've got an Apple story myself. They're releasing a new product, but unlike the iPhone and all their other products, I don't think a lot of people are going to be lining out the front of stores at 2 a.m. in the morning for this certain product. I know I won't be, but I could be mistaken. There might be a market for it that I'm unaware of, but I don't think there's a certain market for this type of product that they're going to be releasing. And it's got nothing to do with technology.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of. It's not a technology tech product, I guess.
Yeah. But as far as the show is concerned, if you want to follow along with social media and things like that, we're only solely on Twitter now. So if you want to get all the links to the stories, we're only solely on Twitter.
I thought you said Twitter. It sounded like you said Twitter. I don't know what I heard. I heard you say Twitter. I thought,
maybe it was a flub dub over the Skype connection. I don't know. But you can follow us on Twitter at Weird News Weekly on Twitter. Also, if you want to watch us on YouTube, you can do so. Just search Weird News Weekly on YouTube. Also, search Weird News Weekly on iTunes, Stitcher, and Soundcloud. They're the audio platforms of the show right there. Rate, review, and subscribe in all those places, and get involved with the show with a heap of comments our way, and we'll be interacting back and forth with you guys as far as that whole thing is concerned. But just got to clear my throat quickly because Reid and myself have both had colds over the last week. But we'll rip straight into the stories. I reckon the best place to start, Reid, is these two Apple stories that we have right here. Now, I'll start with this new product that they're working on at the moment, not the one that they've just released. Apparently, Apple is working on a product that Google has actually done before, and now also Snapchat are kind of venturing into as well. Google didn't do it very well. Snapchat only is taking it into one kind of area in particular, but now Apple want to give it the full, experience that it could possibly be. They're working on wearable glasses that have integrated technology like Google Glass had back in the day a couple of years back, but Apple thinks that they can actually do it better than Google did.
Because Google Glass was something that I thought at the time was pretty cool, but then it didn't really go anywhere. So how do Apple think they're going to make it better and go one better? Well,
I think it's one of those things where Google Glass was kind of used in the wrong way. A lot of people were using it for very bad intentions. They were kind of spying on people through cracks in doors and stuff like that, and recording video on the built-in camera and all that kind of stuff. Whereas Apple kind of is wanting to go to the business and consumer business side of things first before releasing this to the public. So it's going to be one of those things where if they do release this wearable eyeglass technology, it's going to be used for a business purpose first that'll integrate with all your Apple programs on your computer before it actually becomes something that's released to the public. So it could work a little bit better for them in that sense, where going through the business sector first, they'll be able to work out a lot of the kinks before they release it to the general public.
So people in suits will be the guinea pigs for those who don't wear suits.
Yeah, exactly. So all the corporates that are sitting up in the office on the, 35th floor of some building, they're all going to be sitting up there with their Apple glasses on, just looking at all this weird new technology stuff on their screens and everything, and everyone else is just going to be sitting down at the bottom of those buildings, looking up at those windows going, they're using Apple technology up there that I don't have access to. Damn them.
All can't afford.
Yeah. Well, it kind of makes you wonder as well, if Apple is going to do this, how much is it actually going to cost? Because Apple is renowned for giving you something that a lot of people say doesn't live up to the price tag of said thing. So if you're going to put a price tag on something like this, where do you think you'd put it, Reid?
Well, it's interesting. Maybe we should look at the average cost of a pair of sunglasses. So maybe, which I wouldn't even know, I'm guessing probably between the area of $300 to $500 for a good pair of surf sunglasses.
Yeah, if you look at like Oakley's or something like that, probably around that price.
Yeah, add some sort of tech to that. I'd reckon about the $1,500 mark.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just a ballpark figure, I reckon.
We have to think about the kind of technology that goes into an iPhone itself, and the top-end iPhone costs over $1,000. So the technology that would be going into the Apple glasses as well would also be, about up to the par of what an iPhone can do, if not more even. So will it be around about the price of what an iPhone is, or maybe just a little bit more, because it'll integrate with all the products that you've already got, so it's more value if you get my drift.
And then I wonder if people are going to be willing to fork out that kind of cash for a pair of glasses.
Yeah.
Because I don't pay that much for my day-to-day glasses. I certainly don't pay a lot for my sunglasses. So I wonder if people are going to be willing to pay that kind of cash for a product that isn't sort of already out there at the moment. So that's an interesting one, but glasses with technology, who'd have thought?
And I guess you could kind of go in a different direction with this and also ask the question, are Apple going to integrate this with everyday wearable glasses. So if you're a person who does have prescription lenses, can you get prescription lenses in the Apple glasses and just wear them all day long and use that technology all day?
There's an untapped market right now.
Because they'd be sitting on a gold mine if they did something like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, imagine everyone in the world who's got glasses and no technology on any of those glasses.
Yeah.
I reckon they're on. So could be a winner with them, yeah.
Exactly. Because, well, you just even see brands who are getting involved in glasses these days. Like I went to a glasses shop the other day. They had like Nike brand in there, Oakley, all these different other, sporting brands, and then all the designer brands as well. And these are just your everyday glasses, not even sunglasses as well. Even there was like a Nike pair of everyday glasses that you could buy with prescription lenses. The frames themselves were upwards of like $350. So,
whoa.
The frames with the prescription lenses, that there's another cost on the top of that, and then the technology that would go into it as well. If they kind of got on board with even the actual brands, like if you had Nike and Apple join forces, so you had Nike frames with Apple technology in the lenses.
Jeez, and then I also wonder about insurance because, a product that expensive, you can insure your iPhone, so surely you would be able to insure your glasses if it had that sort of technology inside them. So, yeah, that could be the way to go of the future, I reckon, for glasses.
Well, because even when you were just walking around on the streets, for example, when the first iPod came out, and if you were walking down the street and you had the Apple headphones coming out of your pocket up to your ears and people saw that, they'd be like, hey, that dude's got an iPod. That's brand new. I can't afford that yet. I'm going to swipe it off him just because I can see that the headphones are there, so that's obviously an iPod. So This will be the big new thing. If people are wearing these Apple glasses around, are people going to go, hey, that person's wearing Apple glasses, I'm going to jump him and steal those glasses and then make a killing off them?
I reckon you could be right. I reckon that's the possible future of crime, stealing people's glasses.
But talking about all this stuff as far as price tags on things are concerned, Apple has released a new product in the past couple of days, Reid, that they have also put a big price tag on, and it's not even a piece of technology this time around. Yeah,
no, this is an interesting one because we've all heard of all the products that Apple have released, but what if you could read all the products in a book? Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem like a too far-fetched sort of thing to do. Well, Apple are releasing a book of all the products they've ever made, but this is the kicker. It's not going to be a book you're going to buy at your local retailer for $40 or $50. They want you to spend more than, wait for it, $400 on a book. On a book of all things. Now, the reason why the only thing I could find why it was so expensive, apart from the fact that it's an Apple product, is because of the equipment they're using to put all of the imagery and all the writing on all the book. They're going to be using, get this, specially milled, custom-dyed paper with sided matte silver edges using 8 colour separations and low ghost ink. Mm-hmm. Or in other words, a hipster book. I mean, what is the point of all of this? We know that Apple products are expensive, but it's been expensive on purpose now, it seems.
Now, I've watched a YouTube video today of someone who actually went to the Apple store over in New York City, purchased themselves one of these books, and then were really proud of their purchase and were like absolutely loving it. You can actually get these in 2 sizes. There's the big size for $429 Australian, and there's also the smaller size, which is an absolute bargain steal of a price, $289 Australian still.
Cheating.
Yeah.
I mean, do Apple not realise that books aren't popular anymore? Because as far as I'm aware, books have gone the way of many things, gone under. Yeah. So why they would think to release a book for posterity reasons, I guess, or for, to be the cool kids on the block, I just cannot understand who would spend or would be willing to spend even the cheaper one of $289 for a book.
Yeah.
I just can't see it happening. Who's going to fork out that kind of money?
Now, the video that I actually watched, though, it was a girl who's gone to the Apple store in New York City. She's walked in there all really proud that she's going to get her new Apple glossy book. It's all fantastic and stuff. Willingly walked in there, spent $200 and something on this book. American money, I think it comes down to about $220 or something like that. So she's walked in the store, thrown her cash at them, and they're just like, here, have this book. She's brought it home and she said, yeah, I'm a huge fan of coffee table books. I have them around the house because they're conversation starters and blah, blah, blah. She started showing off some of her already existing coffee table books that she had previously. None of those books looked like they were bought brand new. It looked like they were all just kind of op shop purchases and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So why has she gone from op shop purchases to buying an over $200 book just to sit on a coffee table to start conversations?
I reckon the best coffee book idea of all time was the coffee book from Seinfeld. I don't know if you've ever been aware of this one, but this is the coffee table book that is a coffee table. So you could be sitting down on a coffee table and actually read a coffee table book about coffee tables. If you're into Seinfeld, it's an absolute genius of an idea, and I reckon some genius has created this on YouTube somewhere, so I might look at that after we finish the podcast tonight.
The funny thing is, though, as far as the two sizes of this book are concerned, this girl got the smaller one. And looking like, from what you could see on the video when she actually put this book down on her coffee table, most of her books were somewhere in the range between A3 and A4. So no bigger than your average sketchbook if you're in like a graphics class or something like that. But when she put this small Apple book on her table, it was somewhere between A3 and A2. So it was a huge book. And she said that the bigger one that you can get for $429 Australian is absolutely massive. So I'm guessing somewhere between A2 and A1. That thing would be huge.
I'll tell you what, if you can't afford the big price tag of $289 and $429 and you got a kid wanting a book to read for Christmas, well, this is my idea. Go on to Wikipedia, print off everything there is to read about iPhone and Apple products, and then cut out all the images, and then get a notebook from Officeworks or any of those sort of places, cut all the images out, put them into a book, give it to the kid on Christmas morning. That kid won't even know the difference between that and the real book.
Exactly. But
there you go. Idea for you.
I want to ask, Reid, have you ever had a situation where you've had a book constantly sitting on the coffee table just for people to pick up and read randomly?
A few years ago, I got a book. It was about TV news, and it was more to do with the inner workings of what actually happens in a TV newsroom. And at the time, it was deemed one of the books of the year.
Oh, okay.
I've never read that book, and it wasn't until about a year ago I actually read it. But I used to put this book in my living room, purposely knowing that people would talk about that book and say, "Oh, you've got that book. Lucky you. You know what a good book is, don't you?"
Yeah.
So, yeah, I used to do that back in the day. But what about you?
I'll just jump up from the desk for a second. I can actually show you two of the coffee table books that I had sitting on the coffee table. Let's see here.
We're currently seeing Ben's bedroom.
Yep, or not the bedroom, it's the study, technically.
Study.
Work my cables back around here. These books are by Adam Mansbach and illustrated by Owen Brosman. The other one's illustrated by Ricardo Cortez. So I'll just get the view up so I can actually see if I'm holding these up well. First of all is this book. For those of you who are listening to the audio form of this podcast, it is You Have to Effing Eat. And the other one is kind of along the same realm. The other one is called Go the F to Sleep. They're technically books for parents to read to their kids and, beep out the swear words, but there are swear words in these two books here, so you probably do want to beep out the swear words if you're reading them to kids.
I think had something. I remember at the time. I think it was Noni Hazelhurst. She was reading those books to her children, and it was a big story on the news because she was always deemed a play school presenter, and she was reading books with swear words that weren't swear words in them. So I remember those books. Yeah.
If you want to hear someone read Go the F to Sleep in a really funny way, jump on YouTube, type in Go the F to Sleep Samuel L. Jackson. It is flipping hilarious. Just hearing him read that book is so good. But I had those two books sitting on my coffee table, just kind of interchanging for quite a while. And, people would come into the house and they're just like, "Haha, you've got that book. I've always wanted to read that. I'm going to flick through it." So it was kind of a good conversation starter with those ones.
Oh, gee, it's great if you've got family around who you only see once or twice a year. You need to sort of bring out tough conversation other than, "So, how's your job going? So you can sort of bring that out on the coffee table. Very nice.
Exactly. But as far as these two Apple stories are concerned, if you want to get all the info on them, we'll post the links for you right now at the Twitter account, at Weird News Weekly on Twitter. Tell us right there as well, or in a comment anywhere else where the show is posted, what kind of coffee table books have you had in the past, or do you have right now? Do you have anything interesting like the books that I've had? Do you have any, kind of ones that will make people go, ooh, look at you with your fancy book right there like Reid's got, or whatever it is? Let us know wherever you can comment on the show, and we'll interact with you guys about that one. But, Reid, we'll move on to some stories about McDonald's right now. It seems like it is experimental season for McDonald's at the moment, and in certain parts of the world they're working on new products. A lot of those new products are either making other parts of the country or other parts of the world very jealous that they don't have those products through McDonald's, or they're making people outraged because they never want to see those products at any McDonald's store anywhere around the world ever again.
Oh wow, we've spoken many times on this show about food that's McDonald's or KFC are making that. It's made in like an Asian country that's never made in Australia, and that we really want it, but we never get it. We get really annoyed when we can't get it. Arrgh!
So the first one here is McDonald's team up with Nutella. Now, this one is a Nutella burger that oozes chocolatey Nutella. It's called the McCafe Sweetie Nutella Burger.
Oh, okay.
Now, this one's actually being done over in Italy, and it was posted online, and a lot of people have just gone, oh my goodness, Macca's are doing a Nutella burger. This is the most amazing thing ever. This needs to go worldwide immediately. But as far as I'm seeing right here, it basically looks like what you would think a cheeseburger bun looks like before it's actually cut open without the cheeseburger usual filling inside of it.
Right.
So think about it. If you put if you kind of pipe some Nutella into the middle of that burger bun and then pop it into the oven so it kind of goes all nice and pastry-like, you're basically going to have a different version of a Nutella donut like we've seen here in Australia already.
Is the Nutella craze still sweeping off the world, is it? Because I would have thought it would have died down by now, but clearly it obviously hasn't, because this has got a lot of people talking, and we really, really want a Nutella burger from McDonald's.
Well, it's kind of one of those things where I kind of think, okay, I think Macca's might be a little bit behind the eight ball as far as this one is concerned, because this has been done before in other parts of the world, and probably a lot better, especially here in Australia, because we were one of the original makers of the Nutella donut.
Oh, yeah, and we saw all the lines of people waiting just for a Nutella donut, and I don't think they exist anymore, but I think they're still very popular, the Nutella donuts.
Yeah, so that's the whole thing. It went viral around the country here in Australia. Every man and his dog who had a bakery started making a Nutella donut of some sort, and, it seems like Macca's have kind of caught on here and just gone, okay, we can do a variation of this in burger form, but it's still basically a burger cross donut hybrid with a whole bunch of Nutella piped in there. So I'm wondering how successful this is going to be when people actually start consuming it, and if they're going to actually enjoy the Macca's version compared to what they've experienced previously with the bakery versions.
Oh, never underestimate people. People are massive consumerism addicts, and if McDonald's are making a product with Nutella, I reckon it'll be a massive seller. So this is what McDonald's do, though, Ben. They see what other cafes and companies are doing, and they think, how can we make that product better? And we can get it into our stores and drive out the little mum and pop stores. So that's what they'll be doing.
Now, that one is the one that's getting a good response on social media around the world. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that kind of stuff. Everywhere you look for the Nutella burger donut thing from Macca's, everyone's going, wow, I want that immediately. Bring it to my country right now. There is another change that Macca's have made to the menu. This one's happening over in the US. Where's this one going? I think it's over in Colorado, over in the US. Columbus, Ohio, sorry. It's happening over in Columbus, Ohio, where they've made a change to a McDonald's favourite. And a lot of people are very offside about what's happened here.
Oh, people don't like change. They do not like change.
Now, this change is coming to the Big Mac in Columbus, Ohio. McDonald's staple burger that everyone's loved for years and years. 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on the sesame seed bun.
You should be their spokesperson, because that is the exact burger. Yeah.
But it's not just special sauce on the burger now, apparently. there is a new variation of the Big Mac that is available. So it's now 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, sriracha sauce, pickles, cheese, lettuce, onions on a sesame seed bun. So you have two different sauces on the one burger. Yeah. Sriracha sauce.
What on earth is sriracha sauce? I've never heard of it.
Sriracha sauce, if you haven't heard of it, is kind of the hipster sauce that everyone's in love with over in the States at the moment. It's a hot sauce. It's a Thai pepper and garlic sauce, and it's a current favourite amongst hipsters and foodie trendsetters, apparently.
Ugh, spare me from the hipsters.
Over here in Australia, you can get it at the supermarket, but it's in very, very small bottles because no one cares about it, basically. So, like, where your sauces would be, like your tomato sauces in the supermarket aisle, usually you can see it there, like, popped up in some little corner somewhere you can barely even see it, but it's definitely there just in a little bottle form. But it seems like the new thing that they're adding to the Big Macs now is sriracha sauce. You can get the sriracha Big Mac, and you can also get sriracha Mac sauce for dipping your fries into as well. So it's a mixture between sriracha sauce and the Big Mac special sauce in a little tub to dip your fries into.
I don't understand why they don't just make a new burger and put that sriracha sauce in the burger and just make a new burger altogether. I mean, why make changes to a classic burger that we've all grown up with and we all know and we've all eaten? The Big Mac may have been smaller nowadays, but it's got the same ingredients, same great taste. So interesting. But I guess they call Christmas the silly season for a reason because they make all these changes and then bring all these new ingredients into burgers and the like. So
exactly. But the funny thing is about this, like, obviously sriracha sauce is a big thing at the moment over in the States, but as far as the rest of the world is concerned, I don't think it's actually all that big a deal. Like, I don't really know anyone who's all about sriracha sauce on everything like a lot of people are that I've heard about over in the States. So maybe it's one of those things that they're trialing over there and it'll only take off around the US and it's something they'll do there, but everywhere else around the world they're just like, no, what the heck is sriracha sauce?
The hipsters will know what to do with this sauce. They will know how to make it popular amongst people like you. So they know what to do with these ailing products and they can do what they like. So leave it to them. They'll create wonders. Now,
the funniest thing about this whole product right here is the tweets that have gone along with it, with this one.
Oh.
So as far as
what are people saying?
As far as the sriracha Big Mac is concerned, Brando on Twitter said, "I'll keep it in mind next time I'm poisoned and need to induce vomiting for a low price."
Very good.
My favourite one here, though, is Alex Katayama on Twitter. "Sriracha and McDonald's is a combination from the 7th level of hell."
Very good.
And someone else has said, 10 Tacos on Twitter has said, "Tried the artisan sriracha chicken for $5. The $1 McChicken is the same size and better. Hashtag ripoff." So they're not only doing it with the Big Mac, they're doing it with the other burgers as well. You can also get sriracha versions of them. But the big one that everyone's pissed off about is the Big Mac because it's the staple of McDonald's since they opened on day one.
They have a few staples, but the Big Mac, they shouldn't change. Could you imagine, though, if this burger makes its way to Australia and the voiceover guy who's about to read the ad, gets the script for it and he, Big Mac ad, no worries. Big Mac, now with new added ingredients. What's this name of the sauce? I can't pronounce that name. I don't know what that is. I'll just say Big Mac. So they're going to be all over the place.
Well, it's even funny with the actual sauce itself because sriracha is pronounced as that, sriracha sauce, but it's Sriracha. So technically it's sriracha, but it's not said that way. So I think a lot of people straight off the bat will even just struggle saying the name of the sauce as it is, let alone, want to try the burger itself. So
it doesn't roll off the tongue very well, so I can't see this happening just because people won't be able to pronounce it correctly.
Exactly. But if you want to see more about these experiments that Maccas are doing at the moment, head to the Twitter account. You'll find the details all right there. At Weird News Weekly on Twitter. Leave us your comments everywhere the show is posted, and we'll interact with you guys as well. But Reid, on to our last story. A guy has just decided that he's fed up with his life, so he's just having a break for a while.
Yeah, well, a guy's probably a bit too much of a stretch for this guy because he's a boy.
Oh, okay.
Usually I don't talk about kids because I find them abhorrent and I just don't want to have anything to do with children. I find them horrible. horrible creatures. But yeah, this story came from the UK where a teenager just had enough of his life and wanted to do something else, because apparently that's what all 15-year-olds do nowadays. They get sick of their life and they want to do something else. Maybe that's why our crime rate in Victoria is so huge at the moment, because teenagers just had enough of their life and they want to steal cars.
Because they're so hard done by, Reid. They're so hard done by.
They've got a hard life, don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
They've given everything to them by mummy and daddy, and they still don't want. They still want more. Poor little darlings.
Mm-hmm.
I like the name of this guy though. He's this kid. His name's Arthur Hiller Frood.
Arthur Hiller Frood.
Arthur Hiller Frood. It sounds like I'm making that up, but that's the guy's name. They have weird names over there in the UK, so he's obviously taking after that sort of tradition.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to young Arthur was he went out on his usual bike ride. He goes for an 11k bike ride every day. Apparently that's what he does, so he's a very athletic kind of kid. And then one morning he didn't come home that day. Now, as his parents, they got worried. They thought, where is he? What's he doing? The next day, they got a letter in the mail, and it reads as follows. To Mum and Dad, I have run away because I am bored of my life. Please don't try to find me or make me come home. I don't know how long I will be away for, but it won't be any longer than a year. You will find my school uniform in a bin bag in a small barn in the field on the green. My bike is chained to the fence. There is a spare key to the lock on the window. Please, can you apologise to the restaurant and tell them that I will no longer be able to work there? I know you will be upset, but understand that I have to do this. From Arthur. Now, he was apparently left with only $700 in his wallet.
Okay.
Now, if you're going away for a year, you might want a little bit more money than just $700 and a bike. So they're the only possessions he had once he said bye to mummy and daddy.
Maybe he thought that he was going to be one of those crazy success stories, like people like The Rock, who are just like, oh, I only had $20 to my name, and then I went and knocked on the door of the wrestling place, and they let me be a wrestler, and then the rest is history. And people like Darren Lyons, our former mayor, who's just like, oh yeah, went over to the UK, I only had $5 on me at the time, but look what happened to me now.
And this is what I feel really annoyed about this kid, because it looks like he has come from a pretty good, family. He's got a nice, good parents, good house and all that sort of stuff, and yet he's still bored. But this is where it gets really annoying, because his parents have actually gone on to morning television, and they've gone on to a morning TV show, probably the equivalent of we have Channel 7's morning show, so probably one of those sort of shows. And the parents have gone on and they've pleaded with him to come home. They've said they do not understand where he's gone. They said he won't be in trouble if he comes back home. And that was 2.5 months ago.
Okay.
Now, how this kid has sort of come about was because a member of the public spotted him on a train. Mm-hmm. So this kid was never going to come home. So what this member of the public did was he recognised the kid from, I think, probably, some advertising of some sort, called the police. By the time the train got to the next station, there was a heap of police just waiting for him at every single train that, the train door. So that every train door, there was a police officer. So he couldn't get out of that train without getting into some policeman's arms.
Wow.
So the police ended up bringing him back to the police station, called the parents, and he is now back with mummy and daddy, no longer bored of his life.
So is there any word on where he actually went while he was gone for 2.5 months?
There is. Now, he wanted to travel around the world, apparently. Now, remember, this guy lives in the UK. He lives in a place in the UK called Devon, okay? So I think that's a country in the UK. Well, this is where he went to. He went to Birmingham, Manchester, and the CBD of London.
Okay.
Now, from memory, that's not that far from where he actually lived.
Yeah.
So it looks like he has just spent most of his time not that far from where he lives and just wanted to just get away from mum and dad for a little while.
Oh, weird. I just looked up Devon, and Devon is a shire county over in England, right? And there is a place in Devon called Torquay.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
And
I think I'm like, wow.
For anyone who's wondering why that is such a weird thing for us, because we live in Geelong and Torquay is just up the road from us here as well. It's like an outer suburb of the city that we actually live in.
And it was also featured on that TV show with Jeez, I can't remember the name of it now. It was a sitcom with one of the comedians. Oh, that's really gonna. They made a play about it a few weeks ago, and I'm just rattling on now for the hell of it. So I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead. Yeah. So, look, he is eventually back home. His parents released a big statement to the public saying, we want to thank everyone for their help in getting him back to us. So, I can't imagine how he's going to go to school every day and his parents not to pick him up at the end of every school afternoon.
Well, I'm just looking at it. I've had the story pop up here when I've typed in Devon, UK, and it's got a picture of the kid right here, and he doesn't look like he is a, off the rails kind of teen or something like that who, has some problems that he's trying to work out or anything. He looks like a kind of, regular stand-up kid.
And that's usually the case for these runaway kids, is they look like they are that sort of runaway type.
Yeah.
But having a look at him, you wouldn't pick it. You wouldn't think, no, this guy isn't a runaway kid. Apparently, though, what a lot of this has sparked him to do this is because his brother went across backpacking around Europe and over in India, of all places. So he thought his brother could do it. I can do a similar thing. I can go around and travel myself at the age of 15 with only $700 in my wallet. So it looks like the young Arthur, he just won't be able to do any travel in the near future at all. I reckon his parents are going to be guarding him pretty well. I reckon he won't be able to go anywhere without someone constantly monitoring him or looking at him or wondering where he is going the entire time.
So it almost seems like, in other words, he's thought to himself, okay, my brother's just gone on a big backpacking trip. He has shared all these amazing stories with me, and I'm just here rotting away in my high school, achieving nothing at the moment and working at a local restaurant. Big deal. I need to get out there and see the world like my brother did, even though I'm only 15.
I tell you what, he's got a pretty good lifestyle. I mean, if you look at most kids in the UK, they come from damaged homes and, there's all kinds of poverty over there in the UK. So I reckon this kid's complaining about absolutely nothing, and I reckon he just needs to grow up.
It's all those millennials these days that they're calling, all the millennials, they don't know what's good for them and blah, blah, blah. They're all no good and they're all doing nothing, sitting on the couch playing video games and stuff.
I tell you what, I heard a really bizarre statistic the other week. Did you know the average age of someone who steals cars in Victoria is from 10 to 17?
Really?
And I thought, at the age of 10, I was probably just wanting to come home straight away from school and just play video games. What are 10-year-olds stealing cars for? How ridiculous.
It's exactly right. At the age of 10, I was coming home from school and hoping that Mum had a tube of Pringles in the cupboard.
Oh, I always came home to Mum's cooking, and that's what I look forward to at the end of school. So for the kids to think, I want to steal a car, how do they come up with that style of thinking? So, yeah, the average age of someone stealing cars nowadays is 10. So you don't have too much to be worried about a 10-year-old.
I was still making cars out of cardboard boxes at that age with like paper plates stuck on the sides as wheels and all that kind of stuff, and sitting in the box going brum, 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 let alone stealing an actual car. That's full on for a 10-year-old.
It is. I mean, I guess it is double figures, so you're wanting to sort of do things a little bit older than you were when you're in single digits. But, geez, I tell you what, a 10-year-old stealing a car, it's so weird. It's so bizarre.
But even on top of that, when I was a 10-year-old, like I was always a pretty tall kid. At 10 years of age, I was taller than most people in my class. There was probably another 2 people that were around my height, maybe a little bit taller. Even then though, being as tall as I was, as a 10-year-old, if I got into the front seat of a car and tried to drive it, I still wouldn't have been able to see all that well and be able to touch the pedals at the same time.
I know, that's the other thing too. How are they? I reckon they've got a kid purposely pressing the pedals and the kid's out there driving the car. Little Johnny's out there pressing all the wheels. Press the stop, press the accelerator.
One's in the fetal position on the ground just kind of pushing at these pedals awkwardly. The other one's just going with the steering wheel.
And the other one's going, which is the accelerator when I'm pressing this one, but it's not going.
Oh my goodness. It really just makes you wonder though, what was it that made this kid go, okay, my life officially sucks. I have to just stop this for a moment.
I reckon his best friend got a girlfriend and he thought, damn it, I'm keep on striking out. I've had enough of this. I'm going away.
None of these high school girls are ever going to love me.
Never. Gotta go.
But if you want to read more details about this story, we'll post the links for you right now at the Twitter account, at Weird News Weekly on Twitter. You'll find all the details you need right there. But Reid, that pretty much wraps things up for another week of the show. It seems like, I don't know, without all this production stuff in the middle of it like we used to have, it seems like we're going through these really quick, but they're still the same length as previous shows were. I think it's just because when we would do the show with the little breakout points in between, we'd chat for about 10 or 15 minutes before we actually started talking about another topic and doing another break. So we kind of get through it a little bit quicker, which is probably good because we can get to bed at a decent hour. So, yeah.
We're giving ourselves less work to do, but in effect, we're still doing the same amount of work, just less talking, and we're getting on with it a little bit quicker. So,
we're being more efficient about the podcast now.
Who'd have thought? We're being efficient. Oh, it doesn't make sense, but we are.
Exactly. But if you want to, of course, follow along with the show, you can do so at Weird News Weekly on Twitter. You can follow the show and listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Soundcloud. Also, watch the show on YouTube as well. Just search for Weird News Weekly on all those platforms right there. Rate, review, and subscribe. Post your comments everywhere you see us as well, and we'll interact back and forth with you guys as far as the show topics are concerned. But Reid, before we sign off, any final thoughts that you'd like to add to anything?
Yes, to lock my doors when I go past a childcare centre. I'm not sure who will be stealing my car from one of those. I'll be looking at more closely when I'm driving past there. But what about you? What are your thoughts about?
If I had to choose between the Sriracha Big Mac and the Nutella burger donut thing that Macca's are doing at the moment, which one do you reckon I would like to actually see in Australia, Reid?
Oh, it's got to be the Nutella one, surely.
Yeah, definitely the Nutella one, even though I'll probably only have it once and then just go, yeah, it's not as good as the other Nutella donuts were. Tried it, I'm done.
I tell you what, I hope no one does some sort of prank idea and puts the two in one and goes for some sort of horrible eating contest and uploads onto YouTube because, no one.
The Sriracha Nutella burger.
Doesn't even roll off the tongue very well that day.
No, that would
Someone's going to do it.
That would not be a fun one at all, I reckon.
No, we won't be doing that, so don't worry.
But time to sign things off, of course. So that's the show all said and done for another week. My name has been Ben Rogers. This guy has been Reid Marnie, and we'll catch you next week. See you, bye. How's the cold going?
It's getting better. I think I'm got a day or two to go, then it'll be all gone.
Yeah.
So I've been coughing it all out the past 2 days, so that's what it means. It's nearly out. So.
Yeah, I've had an ever so slight one this week as well. It's been a bit annoying, but
is that because of the partner?
Yeah, I think it might be because of Gabs a little bit, but it was inevitable, really. So. Yeah. Not much you can do about it when you're sleeping right next to each other and you wake up and someone's breathing right in your face and you're just like, yep, I'm going to get sick.
Yep. And then you turn over to your partner, Gab, and say, do you know that guy?
Exactly. Just those randoms that show up in our bed every night.